thing that we knew audiences really liked about the animated trilogy was the flying. And so we thought there was an opportunity here to not only deliver moments that were iconic, but to present them in ways that were dialed up in terms of the immersive quality.
The intention was to try and shoot as much as we could for real, even though obviously it's a digital dragon going through a digital environment. The believability comes from riding with the real person.
The genuine connection between our digital components and our live-action performers, that was the thing that was going to make or break the film.
It seemed like the best place to start was to locate where the world of Berk might be.
We went off to the Faroe Islands, to Iceland, and to the Isle of Skye.
Just being able to fly around, it was very inspiring to the entire crew.
It was absolutely exhilarating, and you kind of think that's what Hiccup feels when he's zooming around the island on Toothless. We want to transfer this feeling to the audience when they're watching this film. From the get-go, the methodology was that what we were filming would be really good reference, and the photo scans would be the basis of digital builds. Once we had captured all that material, we could launch it into previews.
Our first question is, how big is this island? How far do they have to travel in real speeds? How fast did they go? So when we went flying, shooting methodology was the backbone of everything.
You kind of want to create that feeling that it has been shot from a drone, or has it been shot long lens from a helicopter?
We presented to Dean as kind of, this is what we're thinking about, and he loved it. That was a moment of, we know what we're doing, this is it.
The flight sequences were always going to be the most challenging ones.
We were remaking an animated movie, so can we do it as old school as possible in terms of maybe it not being as computer controlled? Could we puppeteer them? Could the rigs be fully puppeteered so that we could find that performance on the day?
We relied heavily on Framestore to instruct us on what they needed. They collaborated very early on with a team that builds not only gimbals that could move, but on top of those, they would have animatronic dragon busts, as it were, you know, often with a head, neck, and chest.
It's a gigantic, robotic toy dragon. We created every dragon, and we sent this to the SFX guys, and they fabricated full dragons.
Dave Cheeseman is the head of department of props, and he built saddles, because Hiccup saddle in the end ends up with, you know, it's designed with shoulder rings that contain all of the ropes and everything to go down to the tail, and the pedals that he has to control the tail movement.
We spent a lot of time creating cycles of flights to create a motion-based gimbal that our performers could ride.
So in pre-production, we worked up the system on which we could take some of these animation and previs and turn them into a file that could be played onto the physical gimbal. And then when it was not working, the turnaround needed to be rather quick, of going back to FPS, to animation, all the way back to SFX. So we were talking with the animation team, trying to get a file for the next morning so that we could test it out again.
We went in with all these really cool bespoke actions, but on the day we realized that that worked for half of it, and the other half we needed to manually control it.
At any moment, we could keep either just the base platform as a flight cycle and replace the top part with this puppeteering system.
They could dial in different behaviors and they could adjust them live. And then that whole thing would move around.
The performer would have multiple movements of articulation, so it really felt like he was driving a dragon. You could feel the banks and the vibrations of the turbulence in the air. And I think that was great because we got a real genuine performance out of them, because they are genuinely banking, they are genuinely vibrating and moving with the performances. And also that gives Dean the ability to direct.
It's all about the performance, it's all about what the actor's doing on the day.
That again means that the nuances of camera moves that didn't quite go as they were meant to be, or the rig not quite in sync, and all of that stuff makes it feel a bit more organic.
I think that was a nice, liberating way to shoot.
It would not have been possible without a good connection between the SFX world and the VFX world. But there was a lot of care put into making it feel like they're really flying those dragons.
When when I saw Mason on the rig riding it properly, I was like, oh wow, it's going to work.
And I don't think it ever is how we imagined. It evolves into something that you never expected, something more and bigger.
It just makes it all feel very, very real ultimately. And I believe in these characters. I believe the performances.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joblo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.